everybody, to episode 2 of our podcast. We are reporting live from the coronavirus bunker. My name is Chrissy, and this is my esteemed colleague and platonic life partner, Mr. Jeremy Wallace. Jeremy. I'm about to strangle him because we accidentally erased the first half of this podcast, so we're actually re-recording. And
no one cares.
We're taking 2.
No one cares.
I guess they don't. Before we get into it, I wanted to give a thank you and a special shout out to our one follower.
I'm the one follower.
You're not the one follower. We have a follower out there. Very exciting stuff. Shout out. Please tell all your friends. Be sure to spread the word because we have a lot of exciting topics that are on the docket.
On the docket? What are we in court?
On the docket.
Jesus Christ. What are we talking about?
All right. When we first started this podcast, we had a list of topics all fleshed out for future episodes. But what we didn't realize was that we were starting a podcast approximately 2 weeks prior to the apocalypse.
No one cares.
So this is what we're talking about today. We're talking all things coronavirus.
No, we're not. There's going to be some other stuff in that. No. All right. What do you want to talk about today?
I want to talk, Jeremy, about how you're doing with our little, he's my cellmate.
Oh
We're Sallies. We're Sallies.
We're Sallies.
And
is that how we talk? What are you in prison now?
I do watch a lot of Lockup, and that's what they call each other, Sallies.
Oh my God, you're so white.
Yeah, I'm really getting on his nerves, and he is actually starting to lose his grip on reality. It's day 2, day 3, and so I'm working from home. He's
I work
furloughed.
Oh my God, yeah.
And so I'm working on the couch next to him while he's been watching a marathon of The West Wing. And I noticed today that he's actually started to talk to the characters in the show as if he's part of the show.
I'm going crazy.
He's losing his mind, truly. And it's kind of hilarious and frightening to witness.
Why?
Because I'm trapped in this house with you. And we're on day 3. How the hell are we going to make it?
I do all the cooking, all the cleaning. I do everything. I'm potty training our 3-year-old. And no, we're not together. Yes, I'm single.
Ladies, it's all yours after this coronavirus is done. I release him back out into the world. Okay, here's what I wanted to talk about first and foremost. We are doing the best that we can to help my parents out. They are elderly. My dad is 86 years old, and my mom is 12 years younger than him. So obviously, and we are in California, in one of the
Sacramento,
in one of the viral epicenters. So seniors are all quarantined. Everyone's quarantined here, but especially them. They need to be careful so they don't go out at all. And so in the mornings, we've been bringing them the newspaper because my dad insists on reading the San Francisco Chronicle, old school style.
It's funny to see him at the computer reading the newspaper and trying to flip the screen. We're like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Dinosaur, go.
He just, he's been reading the Chronicle for the last 50 years, and it's an important part of his day. So we go out early in the morning to Rayleigh's to buy one of the 10 copies that they have delivered each morning. And so in doing this, we noticed the first day that everyone was supposed to be quarantined.
All right, so I get up and go to work. I work in San Francisco in the Bay Area. And when I get up in the morning, I stop at the gas station. I get coffee, blah, 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 blah. Well, when I turn to get on the freeway, it's packed because there's the 50, 80...
interchange.
Split. So we get up one morning and it's all right, everyone's supposed to be social this, social that.
Social distancing.
And freeways are packed. Gas stations are packed. Everything's packed. It's are we overreacting? Are we underreacting?
We felt like a couple of
What the hell's
suckers.
going on?
We thought that quarantine meant quarantine. We saw people walking their
dealerships,
dogs, jogging around.
Yeah, but you know what? The dealerships are closed. All these things are closed, but I think to myself, there's more essential people that have to work in this country than there is non-essential. And I'm thinking, okay, so the people that get to stay home are what? The fucking people that work in tech or the startup companies like who I work for? Or, okay, office the car jobs, dealership, basically. Office jobs.
Oh, construction workers. We've seen so many construction workers out. Try to get those guys to quarantine themselves. Good luck.
People are still remodeling their houses. And it's like, I get, you know what, Chrissy? I understand why they want social distance. I understand why they want this to work.
Absolutely.
But it's not going to work, people, if you don't stay home. And you can't stay home when you got to feed your fucking kids and you're a construction worker. It's like, how are you going to stay home? And then we've got our president wants to say, oh, well, we're thinking about giving you maybe 1,000 or a little bit under 1,000. It's like, okay, that's a bottle of Grey Goose and some mixers in Vegas for 6 hours. It's like, that's not going to help us. You know, we need big money and big change, and we're not going to get it.
Okay, taking it back down to a local level, another interesting thing I've observed is that there are places that are staying open by way of technicality. Yep.
Gunther's?
That's exactly what I was
Okay, if you sell food, Gunther's sells ice cream. I drove by there because I was trying to get a haircut in Sacramento, which is absolutely freaking impossible. I had to go to Rockland. Thank you. Gunther's was open.
Part to quarantine.
Yeah, well, I had to get a haircut because I thought I had a date. Doing my part to quarantine. I'm lying.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ, I'm lying.
Okay, so an ice cream shop, an excellent ice cream shop,
because that's an essential place to be open.
Or at least was, as of a couple days ago, still open. And then you have, when it comes to the professional jobs, which jobs are classified as essential and which jobs aren't? And where do we draw the line, and how do we...
all the dealerships are closed. But the service and parts departments are staying open. And then they say, well, you don't want more than 10 people. It's like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the shop, a mechanic shop. But I'll tell you what, there's more than 10 people at a dealership inside a mechanic shop and all the people running around. So it's like, it's not, I don't know. It's not really working as well as I think they wanted it to, because there's more essential than there is non-essential.
Okay. Yeah. That's a theory. Definitely.
And if you don't want to, if you don't want, I don't know. It's so stupid. People are losing their jobs. People are going crazy. Stop buying toilet paper. Oh my God. And stop buying up all the bread. You guys are making this so hard on the elderly and the other people. It's like, calm the hell down. It's like, okay, we're not scared of the coronavirus. It's like, I'm scared for elderly people to get it. Yeah, sure. But most of the times it's like, I'm scared of the people who are scared of the coronavirus. Those are the people out there. Oh my God, they're panic buying and robbing people. And some poor lady got beat up at Rayleigh's. And
I know they actually have a police officer parked out in front of Rayleigh's now to sort of monitor their senior happy hour. The early morning, it's open to senior citizens. And now they've got a cop stationed out there because I guess apparently...
Someone got
robbed.
Oh, yeah, and these guys dressing up in white suits coming around saying that they're taking a census, which is done through the mail and online. They're robbing people. And it's like, I made it very clear on Facebook that if you come to my house, 3 or 4 of you, and you're dressed up in all white, and you're trying to take a census report, and you push open my door, you're going to get fucking shot. Period. You can't do that. I mean, any one of you guys that has a concealed weapon for California knows that 3 or more is a deadly weapon. And I'll tell you what, these guys better relax, because I've seen, we tried to go to a Target range and buy some ammunition. I have a Glock 22, which is a 40 cal. And I was like, you know what? I'll buy a couple extra boxes. Nope, out.
Oh, and what's crazy...
Completely out.
I wasn't going to go off on this subject, but what's interesting...
Hold on a second. Not panic buying toilet paper. These guys are panic buying guns and ammunition.
Can I... Yeah. Can I say something on that?
Of course.
He's going off on a Jeremy tangent.
Or forever hold your toilet paper. Fucking morons.
Jer, What I wanted to comment on was that it's funny that, like, all these people it's not just ammo that people are stocking up on. It's people trying to purchase guns reluctantly for the first time ever.
Oh, my God.
And then realizing, wait a minute, there's a 10-day waiting period. And it's like, yeah, you have to abide by this.
But I need my gun now. Shit.
And it's like, this is not... so you're going to be a first-time gun owner, like, now? That's kind of frightening. Like, all the first-time gun owners
and
that
all
are
the first-time gun owners,
trigger happy and terrified.
and it's all the Asians. And it even came out on the news. It's all the Asians because they're scared that the Americans are going to go after the American Asian community because y'all started the fucking coronavirus. Oh my God. It's like,
there is a very
calm down.
Very real fear
there is.
of racism. And we saw that happen after 9/11 with Muslim people and Arab people getting beat up. And it's a very, and
it's a real thing.
Fear that
and
they want to protect themselves. I understand that.
It wasn't their fault.
No, it wasn't. It was, now this is where we can get into it because I think this is sort of where we left off when we had our technical glitch. We were talking about...
You're a technical glitch.
Excuse me? Mister, I know how to use GarageBand, but then I ended up recording over 30 minutes of an episode.
No one cares.
I could strangle you. They care. But where we left off originally was that we were talking about how hilarious it was listening to Donald Trump. So we're trying to stay away from the news, or at least, like, consume it to a rational degree.
Oh, by the way, it's President
we have
Trump.
been, the Dawn. We have been watching, quite entertained by these presidential press conferences, and we've also been watching the press conferences given by our esteemed Governor Gavin Newsom. But the President Trump ones are just this guy. He's just, say what you will, but he is entertaining as hell. And we were laughing about how one of the reporters asked him, "Hey, Donald, what do you say about you think, what did they say?" They basically accused him of being racist because he referred to it as a Chinese
virus. And then he turned around and he says, well, it's from China.
He said, I call it a Chinese virus because it's from China. And the way his lips moved, like, oh my God, his mouth movements are just freaking hilarious. China.
I've never seen a president like this before in my life. He just doesn't give a shit.
Cocky son of a bitch.
And you know what? You guys, I don't care. I don't fucking vote because by the time it gets down to me, and say what you will about me or Trump or whoever, I don't care, okay? But listen to this. This is the time where we need a cocky president. We need someone just say, you know what? Screw you, screw you, screw you, and screw you. This is what we're doing. We're going to close shit down. We're going to lock everyone up. Yeah. We're going to make a stimulus package. We're going to do all this. He's trying. But guess what? It's not the president, people. You have to understand that this has to go through Congress. I mean, a president can veto and do this and that, but it's still got to go through Congress and Democrats, Republicans. Okay, everyone's got to vote.
Let's not get it. I mean, I want to keep it light here. I don't want to get too much into
what
politics.
We should do? Here's what we should do.
So much as the humor of, the dude's got to make some difficult decisions. That's for damn sure. But, so too do the leaders of every nation at this point. I think where we left it off, Jer, was that you were talking about, I started going off on the wet markets. And Jer, you were making a comment that we need to keep...
Well, about jobs, it's like, listen, we're not self-sufficient. We've got toilet paper and ketchup and mustard and fucking this and that. Everything comes from China.
Our dependence on China.
Everything comes from China. Okay? And oh my God, they hold all of our money. If you guys know anything about Forex, you know that China's got trillions of dollars that they could cash in at any time and bankrupt our economy. But you know what? We need to, okay, let me calm down for 5 seconds. If we could be self-sufficient as Americans and make our own shit here. Everyone says, well, it'll cost too much. Yeah, but if we make more, hint, hint, to the politicians. If we make more, we can spend more, okay? It's like if we're making $50 an hour, we don't mind paying $5 a gallon for gas or $10 a loaf. It's all relative. We need to keep the jobs here. So yeah, I want to keep jobs here. But I don't know, Chris, you want to talk about the wet markets in China?
Yes. Yeah. A little bit of a divergence there, but yeah, I wanted to take a minute to talk about these wet markets because I don't know if you guys have seen the footage, and I was going to link. They did 60 Minutes Australia did a very interesting and insightful piece of where they actually toured these wet markets, and I'm going to link it in the episode description so you guys can check it out yourselves. It's just insane. These markets, they have, we all know that there's a big trade in exotic animals, but these markets are essentially, I don't know what you would call it, like an open air butcher shop where you can procure any sort of meat that you want.
Imagine going to Denio's Farmers Market and Auction
and
walking down the rows, and every row is dogs and cats and bats and snakes.
Slaughterhouse.
Huge ball pythons and red-tailed boas and dogs and puppies and kittens and all this shit.
Domestic
all these
and exotic. Yeah.
All this exotic and domestic animals. Yeah. And then you say, okay, well, I want a hind quarter of a Labrador. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It's crazy, and it's essentially an open air slaughterhouse. But
this has been going.
You pick them out like you're picking a lobster.
But this isn't anything new, Chrissy.
No, it's not. This is what brought SARS on.
Well, okay, we can't blame the people of China for not educating and not putting a regulatory act on the things that you eat. They've got 1,405,000,000 and some change as of this morning. And, that's a lot of people. I understand you've got to eat stuff, but my God, why doesn't the Chinese government have some sort of regulatory act on how they do this? Why? I have no idea. Probably the same reason they have 1.5 billion people. It's really bad and it's disgusting and it shouldn't happen. But we can't blame the people. We can't go out and say, "Oh, I'm fucking China, man." No, it's the government. It's not the people. The people have been doing this from day one. And if we try to blame the people, that's us being racist. And we don't want to be racist against China because, you know what? It's not their fault. It's the government's fault for not educating the people properly and changing their process.
Yeah, absolutely. But, to that end, it's not just China that has these wet markets. It's other countries. Thailand, I understand, has many of them. Lots of different Asian countries have these wet markets. And we may say it's barbaric, but
it's how they've lived their whole lives. So who are we to say that
factory farming? However, the problem comes in because they're combining different exotic and domestic animals in confined spaces. So you'll have a cage with bats next to a cage with a snake, next to a cage with dogs. So these different species are combining their pathogens. I don't know if that's the right word to use. And they're creating these new viruses that ordinarily wouldn't have the opportunity to jump to humans. So they said, like with the COVID-19, for example, it started with a bat. And then it jumped to another animal, some sort of a weevil. I don't remember what the other animal was. And then from there, it jumped to the humans. So these wet markets are creating the perfect petri dish for viruses.
The more you stir a pile of shit, the worse it stinks.
So yeah, we don't want to be racist, but at the same time, we have to call these things out when we see them. And maybe as a world, we could put the pressure on China and other countries that are doing these wet markets.
What else do we have today? Well, let's do something different besides just
Corona?
China and Corona, and we've got to have something better to talk about. I mean, that's what everyone is talking about. It's on.
Well, I was going to talk about how we are restructuring our family machine as we work from home.
Oh, Lord.
Because that's like an ongoing issue. We are...
if you get a chance, refinance. The Fed rate is lower than low.
Yes.
I'm refinancing my Jeep next week.
Correct. Well, let's see. I was going to talk about homeless folks. I was going to talk about...
Okay. All right. No. Stop. Okay. Here, let me just get this right out of the way right now. I get it. Okay. I'm not against all homeless people, but listen, here it is. We spend billions and billions and billions and billions and trillions of dollars over the last decade on the war against drugs, which we're losing miserably losing, always have been. I don't know if you guys know this, but Oakland and San Francisco and now in Sacramento, the state of California is collecting hotel rooms by the hundreds, by the thousands, and they're putting the most susceptible into these hotel rooms for free, which I agree with. I don't believe that you should be 50, 60, 70, 80 years old and on the street. And I know that 90% of this or more is, these guys have some pretty severe mental issues. I think that we should be pouring money into getting the homeless off the street. But which homeless? Well, we need to start with the ones that are mentally unstable, the imbalanced ones, the ones that with the accesses that I can't even, I wouldn't even know where to begin, how to diagnose one of these people because I'm not a fucking doctor. But here's the problem. We give them medication. They get on their medication. They do good. They see themselves doing good. And then they take themselves off the medication and get back on drugs and alcohol. We need something or someone to put something in place that helps them stay on their medication. Because when they're on their medication, they're actually trying to be productive and live a normal life. The drug addicts and the alcoholics, fuck them. I don't care. Throw them in jail. Do something with them. But the ones that truly have problems and want help and want to get on their feet are having these mental issues. And we don't have anyone to keep them on their medicine. That's the problem.
Well, I
know this firsthand.
I wanted to talk about homeless in the way that we have a challenge now containing this virus among the homeless population in California. But we can talk about homelessness in general. We both have a lot of, and this, let us know in the comments if you're interested in hearing this as like a future episode topic, because we can dive into it. Both Jeremy and I have extensive experience, both volunteering and working with the homeless population. We lived in San Francisco. I lived in San Francisco for about 9 years. He lived with me there for a year 2 years before we moved out to Sacramento. And he actually worked, in the time that he was in San Francisco, he worked as a private security guard whose job was essentially to herd the homeless away from the businesses that he was charged with securing. And it essentially what he became a homeless outreach officer in doing this and formed relationships with a lot of these folks. And my experience with the homeless comes from living in the Tenderloin, living in one of the worst homeless epicenters in the United States, arguably, San Francisco. Holy moly. I could tell you stories that would make your
skin crawl.
Yeah, I think we really need to dedicate a whole separate episode to this, Jer, because we could just really get into it. And I think it's something that people are interested in. If you don't live in a place like San Francisco or downtown Los Angeles, Skid Row, like, people find it fascinating, and it's something that we lived, especially when I lived across from Glide Memorial, which is a famous church in San Francisco. You might have seen it, you might remember it from The Pursuit of Happiness. I lived across from that church for quite a while, and our balcony was looking out. Well, it was a fire escape, but we used it as a balcony to smoke. And we looked directly down onto that church where they were giving.
Well, you know what I want to touch on, because I think you're going on about this. Listen.
Yeah, I know.
Here's what I want to touch on. You know, I'm hearing a lot too that you guys are getting sad and depressed and committing suicide and thinking about suicide. You know what? This is a time where it's not your fault. It's not your wife's fault. It's not your fault. It's not your kid's fault. It's China's fucking fault. And it's okay to go bankrupt. It's okay to lose your home. It's okay to lose your cars. It's okay to lose your job. It's okay to lose your money. This is a great time to restart. There's going to be a lot of things out there that can help you. And I know it's going to be hard losing your Mercedes and your 5,000 square foot house or whatever. But
or even just your apartment.
Your apartment.
This is leveling the playing field. We're all sort of financially fucked right now, but in a weirdly comforting way, we're all in this together. I mean, truly.
Yeah, and we can all start over together. I mean, this is not a big deal, you guys. It's like, don't make it out to be a bigger deal than it is. It's like, if you get sick, there's an 80% chance that you're just going to float through it at home. I mean, if you're older and you have underlying health issues, you're going to have to treat yourself a little bit different. You're automatically shifted over into a different category. But for millennials and the Gen X's, we don't really have a lot to worry about. We will survive and we'll come out of this. We have to keep calm, be firm, fair, and consistent, and don't give up. You can never, ever, 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 ever give up. Yeah. You just have to deal with it. It's like, at the end of the day, if you wanted to say, fuck it, I'm going to go buy a $1,000 sailboat and I'm just going to drop anchor somewhere. And it should actually almost be a relief, because you have an excuse to get out from all this debt. You have an excuse to get out of all this stuff, and you're not going to be a loser. You're not going to be a failure. No one did this to you but a fucked up government in China that didn't regulate shit that needed to be regulated.
Yeah, for real.
I guess what I'm saying is just it's going to be okay, you guys. Just
we'll get through it. Me and Jeremy were just talking about like some crazy shit that we've been through. I mean, this is certainly unprecedented, but the two of us have been through some hard times, and so
yeah, we have.
Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah.
A couple of one other thing I wanted to mention before we kind of start to wrap it up. Jeremy has a new toy.
Oh yeah.
And it is pretty rad. I don't know if you guys realize this, but there is an RC culture that exists out there. Grown men with these RC cars.
Well, we're the only ones that can afford them.
Well, yeah, because they get pretty damn expensive. But Jared, tell them about your new remote control car.
I bought a Traxxas / VXL 2-wheel drive. And, of course, Tim the tool man tailored it. I went all aluminum, metal gears, 3S LiPo battery. Thing does like fucking 70 miles an hour. It's a lot of fun, you guys. Find something, buy something that you're going to have a lot of fun with. Our daughter Summer loves it. I love it. Chrissy loves it. We take it out on the street and race it up and down. And just find something to keep your minds busy and find something that is fun. You don't have to stay inside all the time. You can get outside, go jogging, take a walk. This is a time for you to exercise, eat better, spend time with your family, have lots of sex. Don't get divorced. It'll be okay.
You're being very, very inspirational or motivational, I should say, today, Jer. I just wanted to mention, though, this car, and I'll put a picture up.
Yeah.
It goes like 80 miles per hour.
No, 70.
It's insane. Like, you guys don't even realize this is a remote control car on crack. It's pretty cool.
Well, you buy them. Here's what you do. You go down to your local hobby shop and you buy one of these things for like $500.
Yeah.
And then you put another $300 or $400 into it.
Yeah.
And then you break it a few times, and every time you take it out, it costs you $20 because you fucking broke something.
Yeah, and he's always got a Tim the Toolman Taylor it, so he's adding more power than what it could handle. He's broken this thing several times now. He powered it up so much that when it took off, it would just immediately spin into like a wheelie. Like it immediately like lifted off the front like the front wheels lifted off because it was going
that's a wheelie.
It couldn't handle how fast.
No, it can't handle it.
It was
too much.
Going. It was too much. Reel it back, Jeremy. Reel it back.
Too much is good much. Listen, you guys, we're going to wrap this up.
Wait. Before we wrap it up.
What do you want?
I wanted listeners to weigh in the comments on whether we're overacting, whether we're underreacting, what your experiences have been with this coronavirus quarantine. But also, I thought it'd be fun to do a vote for the next topic. I've got 3 topics that we can do for our next podcast that are potentials. Number 1, blind taste test. And this will be exploring how sight has a close relationship with taste. Specifically, Jeremy here boasts that he can tell the difference between a $2 bottle of wine, a $12 bottle of wine, and a $50 bottle of wine. So I'm going to put him to the test.
If you can't tell the difference between a $2 Chuck and a bottle of Camus, you're a fucking moron.
Well,
what?
There's other things that I also wanted to test you on besides the wine.
Oh, God.
I'm going to do top shelf vodka versus like Gilman's or what's that generic shit that they sell?
I don't drink. I only drink top shelf shit.
I was going to do maybe like generic Cheerios versus the brand name or some sort of generic product versus brand name. And then also generic, here's the big one, generic mouthwash versus Listerine, because it's the exact same ingredients.
No, it's not.
Yes, it's the same ingredients.
All right, wait, you know what? We're not done with this. Let me tell you. Yeah. I lived in Hawaii for years, and I did copper. And one of the places that I did a lot of copper on was the man who owned the flavor house for Monster energy drinks, okay? And I would talk to this gentleman extensively about flavoring and why generic has the same ingredients and it tastes different. These companies don't go to the same flavor houses.
Flavor houses? Is that
flavor
a thing?
houses, yes. All right, Monster is Monster, but get this. A separate company called the Flavor House owns the rights to the flavoring for Monster energy drinks.
But if it's the same... Okay.
No, listen, it's not the fucking same. Corporations do their own flavoring. They have different ways of manipulating the flavor. Then, yeah, you're right, the ingredients are the same. But the flavoring is completely different. They use completely different things.
Possible.
No, it is, and I'm going to prove it to you.
Okay, well, so that's potential topic number 1. I'm leaning in that direction. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Topic number 2 is I wanted to do a piece on ASMR. Is it legit or is it bullshit?
Oh, it's bullshit.
Jeremy, yeah.
Okay, you can fall asleep listening to Ozzy Osbourne, or you can fall asleep listening to a fucking cricket in the middle of the room. It's all about how other people's minds react differently to different sounds, and oh God, get me started next time.
It could be a placebo effect, but apparently there are sounds. People make a handsome living filming themselves just whispering seductively into the microphone, for example, or running their fingers across the tines of a fork. Is it tines?
Yes.
Yeah, or a comb, rather.
Bullshit.
I don't know if it's true. My friend David said that he gets tinglies down his back.
You know what?
Okay,
tinglies. You want to experience the tinglies?
I need a good tingling.
Okay, then turn on fucking Americans Got Talent or Britons, whatever. Listen to those things. Okay,
ooh, yeah.
You get tingles. It's because that's what turns you on is from what you hear. So of course some douchebag is going to come in and say, I'm going to run my hands across the drapes and charge you $20. And you're going to be like, Johnny, I want to fall asleep. Bullshit.
It's not just about falling asleep, though.
It's different. No, it's bullshit.
We're going to dig into it.
We're going to get into that.
We're going to dig into it. Okay, and then topic number 3, and this was just a wild card that I just thought of. Our experience sharing a 325 square foot shitty ass studio in San Francisco.
Which is now going for $2,800 a month.
Ridiculous.
We had rent control at $1,000. We should never gotten rid of it, but whatever.
We both, we live in a comfortably large place now, but we both have experienced living in tiny spaces.
And
Jeremy
we're not together.
No, that's a whole other topic. But Jeremy lived aboard a small boat for several years. I've lived in tiny studios. I much prefer it. It's cozy to me. We both love small spaces, and people are, I think, fascinated by, they have these programs now, tiny house hunters and all this bullshit. We've been there, we've done that.
Tiny house. That's like farm to fork. It's like, that's farming. We've been putting farm to fork since for the last 200 fucking years.
We used to call those trailers.
Tiny houses? We used to call that you're damn near homeless. And now all these rich people want to go out and go, I spent $50,000 on my tiny home and I'm so happy. Bullshit. Yeah, okay. I lived on a 27-foot sailboat with my girlfriend and her daughter and a fucking dog for 3 years. That's tiny home. Okay, so topic number 1, blind taste test. Topic number 2, ASMR. That's sound therapy. Topic number 3, our tiny shitty studio in San Francisco. Let us know in the comments which one you'd like to hear about. That's all I have to say, Jeremy. Anything to add? No, you guys just hang out. Don't worry about all this shit. It's gonna blow over. Yeah. That's it. You guys just have a good night and stay safe and don't trip. Just chill out. And in the words of Jerry Springer, take care of yourselves and each other. All right, you guys have a good night. Bye.